What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Black Desert Online. So I started playing the Amity game just a while ago, and a lot of you guys have been asking me what's the best way to get knowledge of NPCs and what's the best way to do it. So in this guide, I wouldn't say I'm the best at it, but I can give you the general idea of how it works. So as a general idea, all of you guys know that you need energy and Amity to get different knowledge of things. So what we're going to be showing you is how to get more than the average. If you spam F5, which is the greet button, a general guideline would be 3 energy equals 3 Amity if you just hit that. But there are ways to get more than 3 for 3, and I'll show you here. So, before we do anything, they don't really explain this well enough in this game. There's no, you actually have to figure it out by yourself. So, the conversation is what you do to start up an Amity game with someone. Where it says 6 out of 158 right here, the 6 is how much it's going to cost you in energy, and the 158 is how much energy you have on that character. I never really knew that. I had kind of figured that out by myself. It starts at 2. So, for example, if you have 0 to 100 Amity, it'll cost you 2 per, attempt. And then 101 to, 200 is, 4. And then 200 to, 400 or something is, 6. So, in my case, we have 400, so it costs me 6 energy. But if we were to go to any other NPC, literally any other, it would say 2 because I have 1 Amity. So, you get how it works. It goes up by 2 every 100 or 200, something like that. But anyway, we're starting this one in Velia because this Velia is pretty much a place everyone should have unlocked if you even just started the game. So I'll try to keep this simple. The way you do it is by gathering knowledge of people throughout the city. So pretty much just anywhere that's Velia connected. Sometimes they might have NPCs there, so over here, here, and whatnot. So just pretty much just talk to people, and you'll get more of that. So we're doing it in Velia because most of you guys should have everything there just by, your first week of playing the game or even your first day. So regardless,
if you want to go
let's start it up. So the conversation, once we hit this, we would lose 6 energy, and this is where, when we first started, you know how you picked your constellation? This is where it kind of matters, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. So what you chose doesn't, sorta, but whatever. So first thing you do is look at the fail to spark the interest of Igor 3 times. Now this one is usually, in my opinion, one of the more difficult ones, and I just happened to get it. But we have 8 tries to fail 3 of them. So what you look at here is all the knowledge of the people you got. What you look at is the interaction effect. And so as a basic thing, what you should do is always pick the higher percentage. The one that's closer to 100, that means it'll pass. However, in this case, it says fail to spark the interest of the dude 3 times. And that's the minimum requirement of what you should do to even get Amity. So in our case, we want to fail at least 3 of them. So we would want to pick the 3 lowest to 100. So 13. It's actually kind of difficult because some of these are just, ultimately this game is just RNG. So kind of picking the lowest ones as possible is probably the best way. To be honest, I am very unsure if this one's actually going to work. So we'll try it. And usually you never want to pick the ones that have 0 to 0 interest. And later on, once we try this again, there's going to be some where they have combo effects. And what that means is if you place this one, for example, after 4th turn, so over here, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 something. The 5th one will increase by 7 for 3 turns, so the next 3 after you put it right here, 1, 2, 3, will be increased. So once you get the general understanding of this, then you can start adding combos. But just as a basic guideline, we'll just start it. So for this one's sake, we have to fail 3 times. I think I would fail 2 of them, and ultimately the rest is just RNG. If you can get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. You just redo it over and over. So we'll just pick one more. All right. So when you see the smiley face, that means you failed. Okay, so we did fail 3 of them. So we've paid 6 energy to get 12 Amity. That's good, right? Because 6 energy would be the equivalent of 6 Amity. So we essentially doubled. This one is a more difficult one, the one I got, just because RNG, because we had failed a lot. And then that's just a general guideline of how you get it. So, once we get another one, let's actually talk to another NPC where the energy cost is only 2, so I don't just like bomb everything. So this one, to get a quest called Jewelry Thieves, we would need 50 Amity, and we could just spam F5, or we could actually take the time to play it and get it faster. So once again, it costs 2, we have a total of 153. And then notice how the constellation is a little bit different. So our goal here is to spark the interest of Marcella 4 consecutive times. So that means, in this case, we would want to pick 4 of them that have like 100% or as close to 100 as possible. So for a demonstration's sake, we have 2 of these. I'll go over the combo effects a little bit later, but in this one it's more of just like a try to get it, and yeah. So let's see. Well, I could get it 100%, but I feel like 95 is good enough. Sometimes you do have to take risks, because this one gives 9 to 5 interest, but it's at 95%, whereas something over here has 100% and gives 0 interest, and this one doesn't even have 5 turns. Well, actually, it probably does, but sometimes it goes like here, you follow the order, there, and then back, and then there again, and then down there. But you'll learn it as you go. So I guess for the sake of this, we'll just try to pass it because we need it 4 times. We chose some to have 100 to 95%, so that means it's going to be pretty hard to fail. So we paid 2 energy, we got 2 Amity total, right? That's a general guideline of how this entire thing works. So every NPC has a little different like constellation. That means sometimes whatever you picked, I think you get a little bonus if it's the exact same thing as what you did. So some of these have a lot of extra knowledge where you have to get like 500. So let's go over to this one. See, he has a different constellation. Now, this is the last one we're going to be doing. Oh god, it has failed. It sparked 3 times. But we're going to try doing a combo one. Now, these are a little bit more risky in a way. So if you want to play it safe, you don't have to do the combos. But if you want to get higher rewards for like higher return, then you could do the combo. So in my experience, using the combo is only better if you get good RNG. But ultimately, if you want to play it safe, just pick the higher numbers and just get slightly less Amity every time, but it's guaranteed to get it. So in this case, we have to fail to spark the interest 3 times, and we have 55%. It says 3 times, not 3 consecutive times. So as long as we fail 3 times, we're good. Oh god. If these don't fail all 3, then it's kind of bad actually, because I would actually fail at these. Everything else I have is a pretty high chance. So in our case, we're just going to, after 3 turns, you can increase the favor by 1 for 2 turns. So if I put it right here in the 4th slot, after 3 turns, so this would be 1, 2, 3, and then after 3 turns, this will pass 100%, and then the next 2 we pick will be increased favor. So that's what we can do. So that's how combos work. So like turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Turn 4 is like our activator for combo, which doesn't give us anything in return, but it's a 100% of getting it. And then the next 2 are increased. So what we really want to do is fill all 3 of these in a row. To be honest, if this one passes, then I'm probably going to fill the entire thing because RNG, and we'll see. Okay, so we failed 3 times. Then we got 4 Amity total. This one is, I would say, not a good accurate representation of how much you can actually get, because I always get the failing ones, which drastically decrease the amount you usually get in return. But ultimately, we got more energy, or we got more Amity than instead of just hitting the greet button. So I would take it. So just as a general guideline, once again, when you talk to the person, this is how much it costs, this is how much energy you have, and you should always go for the higher percentages unless it tells you to purposefully fail to spark the interest of people. So hopefully this clarified a few things, and the Amity game is somewhat more simple to you. I know this was kind of confusing because when I looked at things the first time, well, actually, let's just go back to here. I'll explain some stuff.
Would be much more amusing
When I first started this game, I always looked at the interest level in favor. This absolutely means nothing. It's how much the NPC has. But in terms of the game, it does this. You don't look at this at all. All you look at is what the requirement is, the interaction result, and the interaction effect. So the attribute level is, you don't really look at this as much. All you do is next combo and interaction effect. So fail to spark the interest 1 time, so we just have to find one that's at a really low chance. 24, sure. And then after 2 turns, the Amity will be increased by 2. So this one's kind of risky. You do get something in return, but it could fail, I believe. So if that's the combo. Or we can have a guaranteed 0 to 3. We're just gonna risk it. So we shall see. See, 2 energy, 22 Amity. Always good. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you guys have any questions on still how this works, feel free to ask. Or if you want to recommend a guide for me to try to attempt, definitely do so in the comments. I'll do my best, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching.